Hey, peace and blessings, everyone. Um, Listen, I just want to give you a short message. It's a quite serious one. Not every prayer gets answered. Well, there's many reasons why. Well, first and foremost, you're still living in sin, willful sin. God knows everyone's heart. He knows that after your prayer, you're going to sin the next second, and you know yourself. Many people like to think God is some fool where you can manipulate and convince you that you're right, that, oh Lord, please help my family, please help this, help that. When you don't even see the need to help yourself and to be obedient to Him, how do you expect God to help you if you're constantly disobeying His laws? It makes no sense. Like, would you, even as a parent, you know, I don't know how, well, it depends on which family, but most parents, if you know your child is constantly and willfully disobeying you again and again and again and again, and then they're asking for big favors all the time, right? Wouldn't you in your heart feel like, hey, this guy's playing with me, or this my daughter, my son's playing with me? So if that's the case, imagine what God is thinking. You know, there's so many Bible verses, all right, that speaks about that. First Corinthians speaks about that. Ephesians speaks about that. Even the book of John speaks about that. Not everyone who says Lord, Lord will enter the kingdom, but those who do the will of my Father. And what is the will of the Father? Well, definitely keeping His commandments. It's up there. Okay, you should love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And you should love your neighbor as you love yourself. Now, if you can't even love God, who you cannot see, how can you claim you love someone that you can't see? Can you see the deception? Like, guys, following Christ, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you, it is hard. But that's why He says, great is your reward. Even Paul said, all of them said it, you know. Blessed are those who are persecuted for His name's sake. You know, for this is the kingdom of God. If life was easy, what are we persecuted for? Even Jesus came down and was persecuted by His own people. Imagine that. Imagine someone healing the sick, feeding the poor, clothing the naked, and people saying that's an evil man, deserves to die. How much more us who have sinned? I've sinned a bunch of times. I can't even count. Bunch of times. I must always be a sinner. But willful sin, sin that you know that you are planning. What does it say in Proverbs? Cursed is the feet that rushes to evil, right? So, guys, sin has to stop. You cannot call yourself a Christ follower and all those things with habitual sin. You cannot. You're lying to yourself, right? Like, I forgot what chapter it was, right? But I think it's in Corinthians 6, where it says, what fellowship, or was it Corinthians 6 or 5, some of them, it says, what fellowship does righteousness have to do with unrighteousness, right? What fellowship does God have with Satan? Or what fellowship does an angel have to do with a demon? So that verse already shows us that there's a separation because of the two contrast of characters. One evil, one good. You cannot be both. This yin-yang nonsense, it's madness. Okay? Because if you actually do believe in yin-yang, this means you're basically saying God is evil and good. And that's madness. He's only good. He's only good. Oh, but so many people are dying. So many people, why didn't God do anything? What? He died himself. What do people say, man? God died himself. And to be honest, if Jesus never came back, that Old Testament God, man, I would be wiped out so fast. He needed to sacrifice his life for us to still live, and by grace and believing in His Son, we shall live, right? Because I'm telling you, if He did not, that Old Testament, remember the Old Testament? God, how he even, when David and these people were carrying the Ark of the Covenant, one person thought he was helping God from the Ark almost falling, and he just got zapped just with lightning. Imagine that. If you want that back, most of us wouldn't exist. But people are so dumb. Like I'm also included. We are fools. Whoever told us that we were smart is an idiot. And I know it was a Satan, obviously. But that's why you think Jesus calls us sheep and some goats. Look at them like in real examples. A sheep is known as one of the dumbest animals in the world, literally. All right, and it only knows the voice of the owner. All right. If you're a stranger and you go to a flock of sheep, they won't respond to you. And a goat is so disobedient, so destructive. It does not listen. That's why Jesus used those examples. So it doesn't matter what you are, a goat or a sheep. One thing they all have in common is that they're not smart. They need a shepherd. So it's better to be a sheep because a sheep is obedient. The sheep listens, it recognizes a voice, right? So guys, if you know that you're willfully in sin and you're still praying, still going to church, man, I'm gonna tell you, you're wasting your time, man. You're wasting your time. Stop it. Come to a realization that you actually need to cut it out. Okay? I'm not saying that it's gonna happen overnight. We're not all for short. A righteous man falls 7 times but rise up again. But give God your heart for real, like for real, okay? And it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard at first. But resist the devil and he will flee. People have to stop being delusional. Okay? They have to stop. Well, that's all I have to say for now. I just hope you guys have a good day. Shalom. May Yeshua bless you all. Peace.